What's up, Commanders fans? Welcome back to Commanders HQ, your home for the realest, rawest, and most up-to-date news on your Washington Commanders. This team is on a mission, no doubt about it. After a breakout season that took us all the way to the NFC Championship game, the front office has made it crystal clear. We're not done building. From the additions of Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel to the hire of Dan Quinn, every move this offseason has been about one thing: winning now. And to do that, the Commanders are always looking to get better, stronger, smarter, deeper. But before we dive into today's massive trade update, hit that like button to support the channel and let the algorithm know that Commanders Nation is here to dominate, both on the field and online. Alright, let's talk about a name that's heating up around the league and very much on the Commanders' radar: Trey Hendrickson, the dominant edge rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's the situation. Cincinnati has had a very expensive offseason. After locking up Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for a combined $275 million, there's not much cash left on the table, and that's left one key star out in the cold: Trey Hendrickson, their sack machine. Hendrickson's been vocal. He wants a new contract, and he wants it now. He's set to carry an $18 million cap hit in the final year of his deal. But based on the current edge rusher market, he could easily demand $30 million per year. And honestly, with his production, he might just get it. Here's the kicker. The Bengals encouraged him to seek a trade. That didn't work. Then came contract talks. Still no progress. Now, teams are calling. And yes, you better believe one of those teams could be Washington, led by aggressive GM Adam Peters. With the NFL draft just days away, the belief is growing that the Bengals might finally bend. If they can't, or won't, give Hendrickson the money he's worth, they may settle for something less than a first-rounder. And that's where Washington could swoop in. Look, if you're Dan Quinn, Trey Hendrickson checks every single box. The guy has averaged 17.5 sacks per season. That's elite, not good, not great. Elite. He brings the kind of energy, motor, and leadership you want, anchoring your defensive front. And let's be real. After moving on from Chase Young and Montez Sweat last season, the Commanders are still in search of a true game wrecker off the edge. Yes, we've got some exciting young pieces and the potential to draft another edge, but Hendrickson gives you proven veteran production right now. Imagine Hendrickson lined up next to a healthy Jonathan Allen and Darren Payne. That's a nightmare. Front for any offense. That's how you win playoff games. That's how you get back to the NFC Championship and go further. Plus, you're not just getting a pass rusher. You're getting a tone setter, a culture guy, someone who shows up every snap. And in a locker room where accountability and intensity matter, Hendrickson is a seamless fit. Now, let's flip it. Because while Washington is sniffing around the trade market, not every big name is the right fit. Enter Jalen Ramsey. The Miami Dolphins are exploring trade options for the veteran cornerback, and naturally, the Commanders are being mentioned as a potential landing spot. But let me be clear, this is one player Washington should avoid. Let's start with the money. Ramsey is due over $16 million in 2025, and that jumps to $25 million in each of the next 3 seasons. That's a massive cap hit for a player who's on the wrong side of 30 and coming off the worst season of his career. Yeah, I said it. The 6-time Pro Bowler failed to make the cut last season, and while his play wasn't terrible, the decline has begun. The explosiveness isn't the same. The shutdown reps aren't as dominant. And in Dan Quinn's scheme, which relies on speed, discipline, and humble playmakers, Ramsey just doesn't fit. Let's not forget, Ramsey's a me-first type of guy. That's not shade. It's just who he's been. Big ego, big personality. And Washington's already got Marshon Lattimore, who, while still talented, also comes with durability and age concerns. Do we really want to double down? The Dolphins' culture has been questioned, and Ramsey's leadership, if we're being honest, hasn't helped. The Commanders are building something different, something tighter, something team first. Bringing in Ramsey now would be a step backward. All of this comes into sharper focus with the NFL draft just around the corner. The Commanders, because of the trades for Tunsil and Deebo Samuel, are short on draft capital, so every pick matters. That means if Washington's going to make a trade, it has to be strategic, not flashy. Trey Hendrickson, that's strategic. He fills a need, brings production, and doesn't disrupt the locker room. Jalen Ramsey, that's flashy. It looks good in headlines, but in practice it could blow up the chemistry Dan Quinn is trying to establish. So if the Bengals drop their asking price, say from a first rounder to a second, or even a package of mid-round picks, Washington could make a real move. And if they do, that's one more veteran star to add to a win-now roster. But with Ramsey, let another team roll those dice. Washington's better off drafting a young corner, letting Mike Sainristil develop, and getting solid play from veterans like Jonathan Jones and Lattimore. We don't need the drama. We need the dogs. This offseason, the Commanders made one of the sneakiest and possibly smartest moves in the league when they traded for wide receiver Deebo Samuel Sr., a 5th-round pick. That's all it took to bring one of the league's most dynamic playmakers to DC. Now look, we all know Deebo had a down year in 2024 by his usual standards. But let's be honest, when he's right, when he's healthy, and when he's motivated, the man is a problem for defenses, and Washington saw that spark was still there. They weren't just betting on talent. They were betting on the right culture to bring it out again. Part of what makes this move even more exciting? Deebo isn't walking into a brand new environment. He's reuniting with Wes Welker, the Commanders' new wide receivers coach, who played a major role in helping him reach all pro levels back in San Francisco. That's a familiar face in the locker room, a trusted mentor, and someone who knows how to get the best out of him. Pair that with a new-look offense under Cliff Kingsbury and a promising rookie QB in Jaden Daniels, and we're talking about a system that's designed to get the ball in Deebo's hands and let him cook. But here's where things get really interesting. Just a few days ago, Jeremy McNichols, who played alongside Deebo in 2023 with the 49ers, went public with a powerful endorsement. And Commanders fans? This is exactly what you want to hear. It's consistent. You can see the attitude that he plays with, that fire that he plays with, and it's that passion. He just runs through defenders with how hard he runs. When he catches the ball, he's trying to score every single play. Let that sink in. McNichols isn't talking about a guy going through the motions. He's talking about relentless effort, a tone setter, someone who brings the same fire to practice that he does on Sundays. That's the kind of energy Washington's locker room needs. And there's more. Everything you see that he does on Sundays, he does that in practice. He does that in his off-season training. He's a great locker room guy. He's got a lot of great football knowledge that's going to be able to help us a lot. That's high praise from a former teammate who's seen it all up close. This isn't just about highlights or touchdowns. It's about leadership. Football IQ, work ethic. Deebo's coming in ready to elevate the standard. Let's talk fit. Because this is where things really start to line up. Deebo thrives in systems that move him around, get creative with his touches, and lean into his physical style. And guess what? Cliff Kingsbury's offense is built to do exactly that. Jet sweeps, quick slants, bubble screens, backfield motion. Deebo's going to have the opportunity to impact games in a variety of ways. And he's not going to be the only guy drawing attention. With Terry McLaurin lining up opposite him, defenses are going to have to pick their poison. And with Jaden Daniels' athleticism keeping linebackers honest, Deebo could be in for some serious mismatches. Let's also not overlook the insurance factor here. If Deebo doesn't bounce back, the Commanders can walk away in 2026 with zero financial strings attached. This is a smart, low-risk, high-reward gamble from GM Adam Peters. Now let's be fair. There are some reasons to be cautious. The 49ers willingly ate over $34 million in dead cap to move off of Deebo Samuel. That's not something a team does, unless they feel pretty strongly about the direction they're headed. And yes, concerns about his conditioning and long-term durability followed him in San Francisco. That's not something Washington can ignore. But let's be clear, they don't plan to. The Commanders' staff is already keeping a close eye on his workload and overall fitness. This is a different environment, a new culture, a fresh start. And according to Jeremy McNichols, Deebo's coming in locked and loaded. What this all points to is one thing. Deebo Samuel wants to remind the NFL exactly who he is. He's got the motivation. He's got the support system. He's got the scheme fit. And now he's got a locker room that believes in him. Everything is in place for a resurgence, and the Commanders are quietly building something dangerous. From the trenches to the wideouts, and now to the QB room with Jaden Daniels, there's a new energy flowing through. Ashburn. And as McNichols put it best, every time he touches the ball, he's trying to score. When he touches that ball, he can take it from any distance. It's really going to be a great addition for us. So here's the real question for you, Commanders fans. Would you trade for Trey Hendrickson if it meant giving up a second or third round pick? And what do you think about Jalen Ramsey? Would you take the risk, or are you staying far, far away? Let's get the comments going down below. I want to hear from the entire Commanders community. And hey, if you liked this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe to stay locked in with Commanders HQ. We've got more exclusive trade rumors, draft profiles, and training camp updates coming your way daily. This offseason is only getting hotter, and Washington, we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and as always, HTTC baby.